Momentum for climate action is gathering pace. Governments are resetting their targets. But is it enough? What level of action will match the full magnitude of the climate threat? Climate Reality Check presents 20 key understandings to address the underestimation of the climate risks we face. Our planet is already too hot, and the rate of global warming has continued to accelerate. Even at the current temperature increase of 1.2 degrees, climate change is driving unprecedented climate extremes. The current level of emissions already in the climate system would produce more than 2 degrees of warming. This increase in global temperature is pushing us past tipping points for critical Earth systems. More thresholds are breached as warming passes 1.5 degrees and 2 degrees. The risk is existential. No matter how much emissions are cut in the next 10 years, 1.5 degrees is only a decade away, and 2 degrees is likely before 2050, even if all international commitments are met. There is no carbon budget for 1.5 degrees or even 2 degrees without an unacceptable risk of failure. Zero emissions by 2030 is the critical timeframe. Net zero targets such as 2050 will only fuel more dangerous warming into the future. But decarbonisation is not enough to deal with the dangerous greenhouse gases already in the atmosphere. Drawdown of greenhouse gases will also need to play a critical role in cooling the Earth. This sequestration will need to be large in scale to remove the vast amount of our historical emissions. The amount of drawdown required will take many decades, and therefore will not provide a level of cooling in the near term to avoid damage and the fast approaching tipping points. So even if we achieve zero emissions in a decade and begin the process of large-scale drawdown, these actions alone will not be sufficient to prevent the existential threat of climate change. Climate impacts will become more dangerous before these long-term solutions are effective. To achieve safe climate conditions, it will also be necessary to establish safe means for near-term cooling, while the long-term solutions are taking effect. Urgent research and innovation efforts are critical in identifying the potential of safe and effective approaches to near-term cooling. With a deeper understanding of our climate reality, we can address the alarming underestimation of the level of action required to achieve a safe climate. Get the full Climate Reality Check. climaterealitycheck.net